Hello, everybody, and here we are talking about punctuations. And our presentation for today is about punctuations. So, maybe you have problems in writing. So, we tackle today what are punctuations. Let's start. What are the contents of this video, of this um, subject of ours? We have M dash, colon, parenthesis, and semicolon. So, let's start. Let's start with number one, which is M dash. And what is an M dash? So we have here the usage, we have here how to make this M dash in the keyboard, and of course how you're going to use an M dash. Okay, so that is an M dash. And how are you going to use this one, or how are you going to um, create this one in your keyboard? You just press Alt key while typing 01 and 51 and it will come out. Then you have here two usage of an M dash. You have here used to mark off information for emphasis. An M dash can also act alone, drawing attention to a modifier or an extra piece of information. For example, Naomi walked to school. It's an uphill travel. She has no choice. There's no bus around. So if you can see here, Naomi walked to school, and there is an M dash. An M dash is actually the longest M dash. It's longer than a hyphen, and it's longer than an M dash. And it's quite stopped by this phrases. It's an uphill travel. Then an M dash again, she has no choice. There's no bus around. So there's a bit of explanation why she has to walk to school. And it's all uphill. Okay. And I want you to remember the notes when you use an M dash. Commonly used in informal writing. Okay, so it's informal writing more on essays, more on novels, more on books, and of course on stories and literature. Do not overuse the M dash in formal writing such as business letters, research papers, and articles. A good rule is to use parentheses, commas, semicolons, and colons instead of M dashes in formal writing. So if you can see here, M dashes are found in literature because of course literature is not the same as formal writing. In literature, you can do away with grammar, but of course, you have to be specific and you have to be relevant. And there should be no spaces before or after an M dash. Okay. And next, of course, number two is an N dash. Um, it's shorter than an M dash, but it's not shorter than a hyphen. So if you can see here, the icon there is an N dash. How are you going to use an N dash? It is wider than a hyphen, narrower than an M dash. It is read as to or through. It is used to represent a span or range of numbers, dates, or time. For example, the meeting will be at 8 o'clock in the morning, April 21, 22, 2021. So, an M dash there stands for 2. Okay. What are the specific notes to take note when using an N dash? So we have here four uses of an N dash. Number one, we have here to show a range of number. For example, there will be 15 to 25 kids at the game. Okay, if you can see there are no spaces. Okay, number two, you need to show a period of time. Example, the meetings will be held at October 11 to 15, October 15, 2012. Okay, that's very old. Okay, number three, show distance. Example, the flight from Batanes to Holo is long. Okay, so if you can see here, it's longer than a hyphen and it indicates time, range of number, period of time, distance, and of course, game scores. For example, the team won the game 15 to 10. Okay, next one. For the next one, this is for your discernment. Okay, please see here the correct and the incorrect use of an N dash. So the first one is the correct usage. She served as a secretary of ECCI from 1996 to 1999. That is correct. It's not using an N dash. And it's incorrect to say she served as secretary of ECI from 1996 to 1999. That's incorrect. Why? Of course, you're using the words, so just use to instead of an end dash. And another one, the regime's most oppressive treatment occurred between 1965 and 1970. That's the correct one. And it is incorrect to say the regime's most oppressive treatment occurred between 1965 to 1970 because, of course, there is a specific particular date and it's not that specific. That's why you need to use and, okay, to play safe. And the third one is a colon. When will you use a colon? So a colon is like that icon there, if you can see there. How are you going to use an icon of a colon? A colon is used to inform the reader that there is more detail to follow. Okay, so if you can see here, a colon is used to add a list, elaboration, or restatement. Okay, for example, life is about three things: colon, goal, relationship, and purpose. So if you can see there, there is space after colon. You see there, it's a list, goal, relationship, and purpose. So what are the usage of a colon? Number one, we have here list. I have three gospel books, namely Matthew, Mark, and Luke. So please be aware that when you use and, when enlisting lists, you need to have a comma before and it supposedly has a space before and then followed by the last list. So that is one usage of a colon. And the second one is elaboration. If you say elaboration, for example, I have decided to stay at Joseph's place, colon, I was offered with a promising job in London. So this is to elaborate that you went or you decided to stay at Joseph's place because, okay, somewhat you elaborated that you were offered a promising job in London. And number three is restatement. If you say restatement, it's actually restating something that you have stated a while back or earlier. So you have here an example. Minds are like parachutes. They only work when they are open. Okay, so it's like you're restating it in a purpose that you are elaborating it or you are um, giving it a deeper meaning. Okay, and the fourth one is not the last one. There are more, but this will be the last one for you to be able to see the differences. So we have here semicolon. You cannot say semicolon. It's semicolon. Okay. So when will you use a semicolon? So that is the icon of a semicolon. Okay. How are you going to use this? It is used for equal emphasis or emphasis. And the usage, it acts as a coordinating conjunction. So going back to your conjunctions, we have here three. Once again, coordinating conjunctions are the fanboys. Okay, for and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. And it's not the same with the subordinating conjunctions. And once again, if you say coordinating conjunctions, you cannot start it with a sentence. Okay. Unless, of course, if it is a subordinating conjunction. If you say subordinating conjunction, these are because, although, though, and so forth. Okay. For example, I faced all life's challenges heads on. Semicolon and then space. Life's too short to be scared at all time. So if you can see here, only M dash and M dash doesn't use a space before and after a word. Okay, before its usage and after its usage. But for semicolon, for colon, parenthesis, and so forth, they use a space after it is used. Okay, so if you can see there, heads on, semicolon, and then comma, heads on, semicolon, and then space. Okay. So let's see the number one note when we are talking about semicolon. So number one, Always use a semicolon when you use however as a conjunction in a compound sentence. If you say compound sentence, this is a double sentence just connected within a sentence. So, for example, the place was crowded. However, Tara took photos quickly. Okay. So once again, always use a semicolon when you use however as a conjunction in a compound sentence, especially if you are writing for formal writing. Okay. Next one, we have here note 2. Delete the conjunction when you use a semicolon or semicolon. For example, the place was crowded, semicolon, however, Tara took photos quickly. So you may delete the conjunction. Okay, you may just delete however. Next one. Do not capitalize the letter after the semicolon or the semicolon unless it's a proper noun. So please take note that if you're going to use a semicolon or semicolon, do not capitalize the letter after you use it. For example, you will be dismissed early today. Semicolon, it doesn't mean to say that you can go wherever you want to. So if you can see there, unless of course if that is a proper noun, going back, what is a proper noun? If you say a proper noun, these are names of nouns, animals, things, objects, events, current news, and so forth. Okay. Can we say that an armchair is a proper noun? No, of course not, because that is a common noun. If you say a proper noun, what is the brand of that armchair? And if you say topaz, of course, that is a proper noun. And then you may capitalize that one because that is a proper noun. An example of a proper noun is your name, Annabelle. Or we have here Martas, or we have here Rose, or we have here Jane. And another one are the name of your street. Poblacion East or South or West or London or Paris or any other proper nouns. And once again, you can only capitalize it when it is starting with the first of a sentence and it's a proper noun. Okay, next one. So that's it actually, and you have here three activities in your Google Classroom for you to check on them, and there will be merits for those who came up early. And thank you for watching this one. Thank you for listening throughout this one. And of course, there will be activities given there. And also, there will be pronunciation, so please take note on those ones. And once again, there are credits and references cited in our module, presentation template by Google Slides.org, photographs by png.com. And this is the end, but not the last leg of our topics. There are more topics to go. We have two more. So please be present during our discussions. So this took 30 minutes only, and 30 minutes will be for your activities. And once again, once you finish this one, please comment your name again in a Google Classroom, specifically on the comment section. Okay, so the first one to come early is actually TVL. And next one is ABM. And the STEM students. Okay, so you are 40 plus and there are more absences today. But that's okay because this will be recorded. Okay, so see you once again in our Google Classroom. Please check the activities posted there. And once again, please don't forget to read the instructions carefully.